and dropped his vultures off here. And by the time he did that, a Dragoon had popped, and Racquetball had already pulled his probes and pretty much surrounded the vultures, which made them so ineffective. But if he had dropped them off the outside here, he would have been able to micro around everything and been able to take advantage of all of this huge open space. He could have taken advantage. He could have thrown down mines to dissuade the Dragoons, and at the same time been popping off probes. So I think that was just a little bit of a mistake doing that. Oh no, it looks like LuckyFool's shuttle just got picked off by Racquetball's Dragoons here. It looked like LuckyFool was just trying to come around here and maybe get a drop off on Racquetball's secondary, his natural expansion, but that did not work either. And he is researching Siege, but he still doesn't have that expansion up. Racquetball's had that expansion up for a really, really long time. Wraith out for LuckyFool, so he's expecting, I would assume, he's expecting some sort of a dropship that he can try and pick off. But if he's going to expect dropships, I mean, that Wraith should really probably be somewhere over here ready to pick off the dropship rather than in his front, which Wraiths really don't do much against Protoss units at all. Especially, I mean, Zealots and Dragoons, I mean, they're not going to be very useful, and I don't foresee them having any other purpose really in TVP other than picking off shuttles or I mean, if it gets to late game, carriers and arbiters, maybe they are good for that too. Second factory with machine shop going down for LuckyFool now. It looks like Racquetball just threw up his third base here at the 12 o'clock main, so he's going to go for 3 bases now, and he does have a shuttle out, and LuckyFool still is just getting his second base up and running. He doesn't even have 2 gas right now. LuckyFool still doesn't have that gas, so he's still operating off of a 1 gas build, which is definitely putting him at a disadvantage because Racquetball's had both gas for so long, and he's also working on getting a 3rd gas. And I'm going to assume that Racquetball is just going to throw down some cannons here to dissuade any sort of a vulture harass and then go from there. Well, actually, maybe not. He doesn't look like he even has a forge yet. He does have a Templar Archives just about finished, so we're going to see some, I would assume, High Templar, maybe Dark Templar. It's a little late for Dark Templar, but it's possible. And it looks like Racquetball tried to, like a bulldog. He dropped a couple Zealots up here and tried to pick off that tank, but good micro, and they were able to pick it off. But all these Dragoons are coming in for Racquetball. He's going to pick up all these tanks. All of the tanks are going to go down. The SCVs and Marines are unable to block for the tanks, and all of the tanks do go down. I think there's one left underneath the engineering bay, which is going to be hard to click on, but he's close enough that he picks that off too. All the tanks are down for LuckyFool. Dragoons are up the ramp and into the base. He picks off another tank as it's building from the factory, and this is looking really, really bad for LuckyFool. I said this is about GG. He does it. All of his higher tech forces are dead. Racquetball's up to 3 bases. LuckyFool's only at 2, and he's fighting with SCVs and a couple of Marines, and he's just pulling more and more SCVs for the fight. Third factory is down, so there's another vulture and a tank going out, so he's going to effectively defend against it, or he's going to be able to defend against it, certainly not effectively. But he is so far behind at this point, 3 bases down, from 3 bases to 2, that I don't know if there's any way that he can really come back from this. I mean, Racquetball's just going to tech up. He's going to have 3 bases, and he's just going to tech, and just mass a huge number of units, I'm sure. Or he might not even bother teching. He might just go in straight for punishing LuckyFool now and just finish it early. LuckyFool does have this Wraith up here. We really should take advantage of the fact that it's scattered out this base and start picking off probes, because if he can stop this base from going up and operational, he can at least maybe try and get back into this. If he can win a decisive battle and equalize the bases, he would be back into this. But he is starting to use it now. He's going for that high line, so that way the forge and the gateway don't work. But I don't think he really should be doing that because the Wraith is so little damage as it is. He really should just be going for probes to harass them more than anything else. Because as soon as cannons get up, that Wraith is useless. Wreckables does have an observer right in the middle of LuckyFool's rally point, so he's seeing the exact composition of LuckyFool's forces the entire game. He's going to know exactly when he sieges, unsieges, exactly when he's therefore vulnerable to attack. He's going to know everything about the enemy, and that just gives him a huge advantage for whenever he decides to attack. And he does have a shuttle with 4 zealots, and he's going to have to drop those zealots off, because that is going to get picked off by the it does get picked off by the wraith. But he did manage to at least drop the zealots off. It does hurt to lose that shuttle like that, especially considering he made a mistake in not having any dragoons around near his shuttle to defend against that. Especially after he saw the wraith up here, he really should have known and kept dragoons around his shuttle. But I don't think that's nearly enough to really make a difference. LuckyFool's tanks aren't even ready to defend and in siege mode or anything. I think he really should prepare for that. And these vultures really should be laying down mines just to give him that extra time and maybe do some extra damage. Racquetball now throwing out a 4th base at the natural expansion of the 12 o'clock base. So now we're going to see a 4 base Protoss machine, really, is what this is going to be. I wonder if he's going to do any sort of higher tech, maybe go for like carriers or maybe arbiters or something, but no, it doesn't look like it. Looks like he's going to throw down a 5th base here at this mineral only, and then he's just macroing up. I mean, his force is vastly outnumbered. Well, maybe not vastly, but they certainly outnumber LuckyFool's, but his economy is just so much better, and given another like 30 seconds, I'm sure that Racquetball's army will be ridiculous. I'm sure that it will be epic beyond belief in comparison to LuckyFool. But looks like LuckyFool is going to push out with about 5 tanks and control group or so of vultures and into Goliath, and he's probably going to be able to push these forces for Racquetball, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Although if he can get to these tanks, okay, he does get zealots in on a couple of the tanks. So once those tanks are down, that's okay. Yeah, there's just way too many speed zealots, and the zealots are already in among the tanks. Yeah, this is over. LuckyFool's forces are not going to survive. There's way too many zealots for Racquetball. They just flew right past everything and got right in among the vultures and into the tanks, and that's GG from LuckyFool. And Racquetball takes the win. Yeah, he was getting ready to throw 5 bases and everything. This was really decided, I think, as soon as Racquetball went for that early Nexus. It wasn't a 12 Nexus, I think it was like an 18 Nexus or something, but he had no military on the field, and he just threw down a Nexus and then was able to defend with almost no losses against that 3 vulture dropship from LuckyFool. As soon as that happened, I think it was pretty much done, because Racquetball was then able to take a 3rd base at the 12 o'clock, and at that point there's almost nothing a Terran can do 3 base versus like 1.5, because Racquetball had the 2 gas, and he had 3 gas. He had 2 gas while LuckyFool was still in 1, and I think Racquetball got his 3rd gas at the same time as LuckyFool got his 2nd, and there's just nothing that LuckyFool is going to be able to do against that. But good game. We're going to go to the 2v2 next. Racquetball is still undefeated, I believe, in the Star Cup, so we'll see if he loses a game at any point in the future. There's still a couple weeks left, and then the playoffs, so we'll see. Good game.